What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. Today I want to take a look at jumping into a mining series aimed at brand new players. So we're going to be alpha, we're going to be brand new, and I want to go through some hints and tips on how to effectively get started in mining, the kind of things you can look for and keep an eye on to make sure you sort of maximize your potential early on in the game if mining is what you're looking to do. This may be the first video in a series. We'll see how that goes as the skills on this character develop. We might move into barges and things, but this is a day one alpha account. I've literally just created this character on alpha. You can see it's got no skills. Put skill catalog. We've got nothing. We are alpha, so let's see how we get on. And I've started producing this video to satisfy a bounty for Just About, so make sure you check the description for a link to Just About as well. But yeah, so without further ado, we'll jump into the video. So as mentioned, this is for brand new players. You've heard about EVE Online, you want to give it a go, you've just created your character, now what? Well, mining is a very good way to start for brand new players. The profitability isn't huge, but the risk is very low. You get used to piloting the ships and all that kind of good stuff. But my very first bit of advice is to complete the career missions, the early career missions. So it's a little bit different from when I last created an alpha account. I didn't do the tutorial, so I'm not sure what that ends up as. But I've started in a station in 1.0 with no agents or anything. So what do I do? If you go to the agency tab, and then that will open on home normally, you can go to agents and missions, career agents. And I very much recommend you go and complete all of these before you do anything else, because you get some ships, you get some skills, you learn a little bit about the game, but you get a bit of money and a bit of starter stuff. I am going to do the industrialist producer career agent before doing anything else, because through this we should get a venture, which is a mining ship, and some of the skills we need to operate it. So definitely do this, but I recommend you do all of them just to see what the game is about. The other thing, again, I'm not 100% sure if this is for everyone because it's been a long time for me, but if you go into your unclaimed items to redeem box down here, you may find that you have received a bunch of things which are like a welcome bundle, depending on which faction you've chosen. And included in there is a venture, which is the mining ship we're going to use today, and the industrial livery skin, which is nice, and everything you need to fit a mining ship as well. We'll cover that in a little bit, but yeah, worth noting that you might have some items in this thing that you can redeem and start using. Or the other thing just to mention is if you use someone's referral link when you join the game, you will start with 1,000,000 skill points, which is a big boost that you can apply to your account. So if you want to do that, I'll put my referral link underneath, and you can start with 1,000,000 skill points, which is very nice. Okay, so without further ado, I've set my destination, which you do by clicking this and clicking destination set, and then I'm going to go and do the career path here, and we will reconvene when I have finished the industrialist producer's career path and we have the rewards ready to go and start mining. Catch you in a bit. Just before I do that, one other thing, do read all the information in these areas. So for example, this is quite important. While we're heading over to that station, I'm going to get started using the skill plan that is highlighted here, because it's an important one. It will include everything that you need for basic mining, industry, trade. That's what you kind of need for the basic mining. So if you just click that skill plan link, it'll bring this up, and you can just hit start training, and it will auto-populate your skill queue with everything. At alpha, everything takes twice as long, but with no implants or anything, this will take 2 days, 10 hours to train all the way through, which is fine because we should be good to make a start already. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go do the career missions, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, and we are back, having completed just the industrial procurement career path. You can see from the red icon here that this path is now complete, none of the others, and we have been awarded the following. We've got a venture, which is what we wanted, because this allows us to do some proper mining. We got given a couple of miners as well, and a few other modules that get us sort of started with the ship fit and get us ready to go. You can see in here there's a mining laser upgrade as well, but I don't currently have the skill to fit this. So if you want to then work out, like, so I took the recommended skill path, but that was going to take 2 days. You can, if you like, I know I want to go and fit a mining ship, so mining laser upgrades would make sense, because as you go and have a look in here, you can see it increases the yield on the mining lasers, which is why you want to use them. 5% increase per yield for each mining laser attached to the ship, but it requires this skill here, which I don't have, and it takes an hour to train. So I'm going to buy and inject now, which you can do just like that. You might be able to get it cheaper on the market, but if you're in a hurry, you can do it that way. And then I'm going to add it to the front of my queue. So this is on yeah, resource processing, mining upgrades. You can see it here. I'm just going to make that the front, and in an hour we will be able to use that module. Now when it comes to fitting the ship, you don't have to be able to use the module before you undock, so it's only going to take an hour, but we can go out and start mining in the process, just with reduced yield. But also your fit will depend on how you want to play it, whether you want to be safe, whether you want to increase your yield based on versus a trade-off in tank, how safe and how difficult you are to kill. My advice for all brand new players is to use a venture and to stay in high sec. When you're brand new, until you get comfortable and a bit more knowledgeable about the game, stay in high sec. That way you're in a very cheap ship, which is exceptionally good at mining, and when people try and kill you in high sec, other players, basically, they sacrifice their ship to do so. So if you're in a cheap venture, it's very, very unlikely that someone is willing to sacrifice their own ship to kill you, unless they're just being vindictive. So as long as you fly an venture in high sec, you don't really need to worry about tank. There are NPC hostiles in some asteroid belts, so you do need the ability to defend yourself. But generally speaking, you can always sort of warp away. There are features of the venture that mean you can get away. For example, this unique bonus to the venture here of a +2 to ship warp core strength. That means if someone wants to hold you on grid, or if an NPC wants to hold you there, they need to have 3 points of warp scramble strength on you, which is a lot. Other important information about the venture and why you want to use it against any other alpha ship is the bonus to mining yield for mining frigate skill, and then the roll bonus of 100% bonus to mining yield in here, which greatly increases the amount of ore that you can get per cycle. And then it also has, if I can find it in this list, a 5,000 meters cubed ore hold, a mining hold, which is huge. Most ships that you can fly as alpha will have like up to 400 meters cubed, but the venture has 5,000 for this unique mining hold, which I want to empty. There we go. So this is why I use the Venture. Super, super cheap, but specialized into mining and makes it so strong for mining. In terms of fitting, as I mentioned, it's a trade-off of tank versus yield. I'm not going to tell you how to fit your ship. You should read about the modules and decide how you're going to have it set up. But I am going to use some of the welcome items to fit the ship instead of going to market. So I'm going to take the micro warp drive, the medium shield extender, and the survey scanner. Probably. Let's bring the after. Don't need the afterburner because I've already got one on. So redeem them. Then let's see if we can fit what we want onto the ship. So the micro warp drive, the shield extender, and the survey scanner. So the shield extender increases your shield and your ability to stay on grid and tank damage. The survey scanner will tell you how much units of ore there are in each rock, which can be quite important if you're trying to min-max your yield. And then you also have a couple of empty slots up here. I'm going to leave my other high slot empty because there's nothing I need in there right now. And the rigs we will cover at another time. So that's the ship and why we ran the original career mission. You also get a little bit of cash while you're doing it. I had over 3 million, but obviously I've just bought a skill book and things. So, main advice then for getting started as a miner. I would say one of the most important things you can do is to join a corporation. You don't necessarily need to talk to them if you don't want to, but join a corporation where other players are able to help you out with either mining boosts, which make a huge impact on how much yield you can gain while you're mining, because you have fleet support ships that will boost the effectiveness of your mining modules. Or also, depending on how you want to get your ore to market and things as well, being in a corporation can make a big difference there. Because one of the issues is, of course, you can mine and you can collect the ore, but you then need to be able to sell it or turn it into something else to be able to make any money from it. Otherwise it just sits as ore and does nothing. You can always take it to market and do that yourself and haul it to market, but that's obviously quite time consuming, and there's a limit to the amount you can haul. Or you can reprocess it and turn it into minerals and take them to market, but then you're reliant on other skills, of which you need a lot of. So within resource processing, you would need to get reprocessing like maxed, which you can't, and then all these other reprocessing things are Omega only. So you're going to want to be in a corporation with others that can do that for you, or you can just sell the ore directly to them. Makes a huge difference. My corporation is recruiting, so if you're interested, obviously reach out to me. But you'll have plenty of options. You can use the different recruitment channels, or when you're new to the game, people will just spam email you with adverts. For example, I just received this one. I'm not going to comment on it, but you will be given ample opportunity to join corporations, and it's up to you to decide which is right for you. But that's number one piece of advice if you're a brand new miner, is to join industrial minded corporation. That's how you're going to make your money, and also you can learn and get boosts and all that kind of good stuff. The other thing to consider is how valuable each type of ore is. So if I warp into an asteroid belt, we will hopefully see a few different types of ore. So let's land and see what we got. There you see it. lots of different types of rock here, and another miner. But we've got Veldspar, Scordite, Pyroxyrez, all in this belt, right? And so how do you know what you want to go and mine? How do you know where you want to mine? All that good stuff. Well, there are various different tools online that will help you work out what is the most valuable ore to mine at any given moment and where you can find it. So this is one I like, ore.celestis.de, and it's a table of all the different types of ore down here, and they value once you sort of refine it per meters cubed of ore. So the green stuff is high value and other stuff is a bit lower. And then on the right hand side we've got found in. These are the different, each colour and letter here represents a region of Empire space. So we've got all four here, that is Amarr, Caldari, Gallente and Minmatar. I am currently in Caldari space. And then there's security of space, you can find it in underneath. So, for example, we see we've got Veldspar here. If I find Veldspar in this list, we can see it is available in all four Empire spaces in HiSec and NullSec. And its value, when refined, is 172.8. So that's a benchmark to go off. What about Scordite? Scordite, also all four, but only in HiSec. It's only worth 106.2. So if you're going to try and make money, you'd mine Veldspar over Scordite. And then the third one in this region is Pyroxyrez, which we will go and find again here. Pyroxyrez is only available in Amarr and Caldari space across all securities. It's available in NullSec anomalies, which are mining belts that are specifically found in your probe scanner, not in asteroid belts. And it's also available in wormhole space. So you can't find it in this region as much as you can Veldspar and Scordite, but it's a lot less valuable. So I wouldn't really bother. So what you can do, of course, is now instead of moving space, we'll just go, okay, we know in this belt we want to mine Veldspar. So let's go and mine some Veldspar. One important thing I guess to mention here, if I go this way, is there's also a scale from the naming. So on Veldspar, for example, there is concentrated, dense and stable, which have increased yield as you go up. So concentrated has a 5% increase on normal Veldspar, dense has 10%, and stable has 15%. So you want to go and find what you can for those rocks. And while we just swing in there and start mining, I'm just going to finish off what I was saying about this other section. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Alternatively, you could look at the found-ins here and look for the highest value found in what you're willing to mine in. As I said, at this point, I strongly recommend staying in HiSec until you know, it doesn't need to be very long, a week maybe, and then move on to somewhere else. But day one, stay in HiSec. So this ore's no good, all of these ores are no good. All no good, you can see nothing in HiSec until you get to here. Plagioclase is 121, so not too bad, and can be found on Caldari, but isn't found in Amarr space. Pyroxyrez, as we mentioned, is worthless almost. Scordite, found everywhere in HiSec, and Veldspar, found everywhere in HiSec. So Veldspar is the highest value thing in HiSec right now, but these values are updated daily. But in terms of like really high value stuff, you've got items, ores like, I can't pronounce that, Beznacine, which is found in Triglavian space in Pochven. That's really worth mining, but it's very dangerous to mine it. Similarly, you got other ones like Dark Ochre is only found in low and nullsec anomalies, but also very valuable, but you will be killed. Gneiss is, I think, the most valuable sort of what's known as a common ore, because it's found in K space and wormhole space, but it's very valuable. So we mine it a lot because I live in a wormhole. You can see it's 900 ISK per cycle, per meters cubed. Sorry. Mercoxite is another one that's very valuable, but that is specifically required for Tech 2 manufacturing. It's a unique one, requires unique skills, unique equipment, and has a lot of enemies that will spawn, and so on. So use this to decide what you want to mine, depending on the region you're in and where you're going to go. But in high sec, generally speaking, Veldspar has the highest value per meters cubed of ore. So I have come in, as you'll have noticed, hopefully, I have come to the ore belt without any way of defending myself. So if NPC rats spawn, which will be available in one of these two tabs, then I can't kill them, and I just have to leave. So at the moment, I'm going to mine as much as I can until that happens. But as part of the fit, one of the other great joys of the venture is it does have a drone bay. So you can buy 2 small drones to put in there, and then you can use your drones to help defend you with some DPS. But they also require skills. So if we have a quick look at the Hobgoblin, for example, which is a small scout drone, which is very good. You need light drone operation 1, so it's another skill to buy and train, and takes a little bit of time. But definitely worth it. And you're going to want drone operation so that you can defend yourself just a little bit. So we've got drones, and so we've got drones and light drone operation 1. Yes. And then if you're also wondering where else you might want to put your skills, again, this is only if you're looking specifically to set up as a miner in the first instance. You just go through the different tabs on your ships and modules to work out what skills do what. So on the traits thing here, you can see that the mining frigate gets a bonus based on each skill level. So 5% bonus to yield per skill level. So if we now go to Spaceship Command, we see we've only got Mining Frigate 1, so maybe we want to put a couple of skills into Mining Frigate as well to increase our yield. That kind of thing, right? So I'm not going to tell you where to put your skills, but just go through the different modules, depending on how you want to fit your ship for safety versus yield, and skill into anything that boosts what you want it to boost. So another one, for example, in this case for safety, we might want to go and look at our medium shield extender, which we can use already, but it needs shield upgrades. For example, if we were to train shield upgrades, it would reduce the amount of power grid that our shield extender uses. Alternatively, there are other shield skills you can go through here in shields that we can buy and train. That will increase our the amount of shield we have. Yeah. So just work your way through all of these. So, you know, shield management, for example, if we put another skill point into there, we would just have straight away 5% more shield. And then you just sort of sit and wait and let things happen. You can see we have plenty of Veldspar pouring into our ore hold already. We can do this until we have up to 5,000 meters cubed, and then we'll want to take them and drop it off back in the station. And that's another reason why the region you choose is very important, because it's going to be obviously your yield and everything is maximized by the time spent in the belt mining. If you need to fly long distances to drop your ore off at the station you've chosen to call your home, then that's all time spent not mining and therefore not making any money. So you're going to want to pick a region of space and some belts to mine in that are nice and close to your base, whether that's with a corporation or whether that's NPC, and get everything set up in that region. I really love the graphics at the moment. Because yes, any time spent flying and not mining is time not making money. And you'll see the money doesn't come in very fast. Mining is not hugely profitable, but it's a very good way to get started in the game. And if you eventually want to become, if you're interested in mining, you might want to become an industrialist, then mining really, really helps. And EVE is a social game, so as I mentioned, there's another player in this belt. So we'll just have a quick look at them and see if they're in a corporation or if we want to talk to them or whatever. They're not, so they're just this is an NPC corporation. So it's not, we can't really gain access to a corporate group through chatting with him, and he can't run boosts. So up to you if you just want to be sociable. But you can find plenty of people in HiSec that are willing just to let others join their fleets and experience their boosts and things. And there's even formal ways of doing that. If you go to Fleet Finder, Social Fleet, and then go Fleet Finder, there will be some fleets that are available for you to join. So you can see there are public fleets in here. New player pirate strongholds, that's not mining. Guides for new players, you can join that and just chat to people and see about getting a bunch of guides. Coalition of Independent Miners, these guys will be mining. You can see the description there. They run mining fleets all day, every day. And they'll be offering boosts and they'll be able to offer support, so we might join that. You can see the location is Yasud, so if I go bus location, set destination, it's a long, long way from where I am currently. So maybe not worth joining today. Here's another one called Big Strong Mining Fleet, for example, and again, Altuni, boss location, that's closer, so maybe it's worth going over and joining them. They probably have boosts, there's 10 people in fleet, and so on, right? So just have a look at this and see if there are any public fleets that would offer you boosts. And yeah, that's really it for day one alpha clone mining. You just want to, just a quick recap, you want to understand where you're going to get set up based on corporation or friendly activity in the region. Very, very much recommend joining a new player friendly industrial corporation. It makes such a big difference to your income in the game. You also want to, he's come over here for some reason, okay. You want to mine close to your base, otherwise you'll waste a lot of time just flying back and forth. When you get your fit set up, you want to make sure that you understand how you're getting set up, whether it's for safety versus yield, and then you want to skill accordingly based on what you're trying to achieve, and do that by reading through the various traits. There's a lot of information in game that will help with this, and yes, and then also use tools like Celestis that will allow you to maximize your yield depending on what you're looking for. So if you're just looking to make ISK, then mine Veldspar at the moment. If you want to do some manufacturing and you need specific materials, then Veldspar only produces tritanium, whereas Pyroxyrez, whilst it was relatively valueless, it produces pyrite and mexilon, which is important for manufacturing, just small units of it. And the final thing is sort of be able to defend yourself as well. Make sure you get some drones and the skills to use drones. Use a venture. Stay in HiSec for day one. We will do another video where we get skilled up a little bit and then start heading out into more exciting parts of space. And the final thing is also, if you want to maximize your yield, is if you have a survey scanner, you can, and you target a rock, you can operate the survey scanner and it will tell you how much ore there is in that rock. Actually, it isn't in the whole region. Excuse me. But so it's 20-kilometer range, I believe, 15-kilometer range. So we are mining dense feldspar, and there are 28,000 units left in this rock, 2,800 meters cubed. So by the time we've filled up the hole, we will almost have finished this one. But if we go to some smaller ones, for example, like any concentrated feldspar, these are bigger, so you could spend longer on those. And again, these are all nice and big on the feldspar rocks down there. But if there were really small rocks, like these ones, you would want to make sure you're cycling your miners so that you don't waste time mining them. So what do I mean by that? You don't have to wait for the miners to do a full cycle to get some yield. It takes 60 seconds, but if I can stop and start them again now, for example, if you have a look, we're at 25,090. If I stop and restart it, we did get 303 units of feldspar without doing a full cycle. So you can maximize your yield by paying attention and by understanding how big the rocks are and how much is left. Other bit of advice is do not go AFK. Chances are in HiSec, in a venture, you'll be okay. Player pirates are unlikely to come and get you, but NPC rats might spawn while you're away from your keyboard and kill you. And also it's just very good practice not to go AFK in game. You're of course welcome to, but you are then likely to die. I had one other thing I was about to mention, but it is gone from my head. And is not currently coming back. So I guess I'll just leave it there, guys. And yeah, stick around for a continuation of the series. If you are new to the game and want to see how else to develop as a alpha mining clone, then subscribe to the channel, and we will continue to put out more videos in this series. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.